Hey, welcome to another episode of the Rob Report. I'm your host, Robert Bob TV Brown. Before we get into this segment, by the end of this video, I want you to do a few things for me. First of all, if you like the video, hit the like button. Please do. If you don't like it, hit unlike. It's okay. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel. Sometimes, as Jimmy Dole would say, you find yourself unsubscribed and you need to make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification bell right next to it so you can be notified when a new video is being dropped. Whoop, there it is. And more importantly, the super chat will be on for this segment. So if you want to donate toward the efforts of Bob TV, that's freely up to you. I do have a job, but any amount will help toward the growth of this channel. And more important, let us help you help us by introducing you to a program. There's a link down below that says Equal Justice for All. You're going to click that video link and there's some educational tutorial about a phenomenal program in America that is really making equal justice a reality for every citizen. So this program is phenomenal. The proceeds from you participating in the program will go back, 10% will go back into the Bob TV YouTube channel. So anyway, my name is Robert Brown with the Rob Report. Let's get into it. Hey, good day. Welcome to another episode of Rob Report. I'm your host, Robert Bob TV Brown. How you doing today? Well, some people, it's always somebody that's going to discuss me in politics. I used to do this thing called Punk Politician of the Day or the Week or the Month. Well, there you go. Punk Politician. Steve Schmidt. After the Democratic debates, Tulsi Gabbard shined again being the most trended person, going for the juggler. I think, and look, I know some of you people saying, well, this is all playing. I mean, they hired her just to go after people to make somebody else win. I don't buy all that. I don't believe that. I believe she really wants to run. She really want to win. She announced her president before Bernie. I'm quite sure she knew Bernie was going to run. Quite sure she knew Elizabeth was going to run. But she had planned on running. And whether she's playing three-dimensional chess or whatever we call it, I don't buy that. I really believe she wants to be president. And if she loses, fine. She will get a position in somebody's cabinet. And 9 times out of 10, she will be in Bernie Sanders' cabinet if she don't win. And if you go by the polling, she is starting to gain some traction. Still need to gain some more traction. Gave her some advice on how she can do it. Spend more quality time in the black community. Listen to their needs. Quality time. Quality. Like spend a lot of times in the black community. Listen to their needs. Advocate it in the policy. Announce it, and then you'll get some more black support and your numbers will go up, because you're not going to win any election in the primaries without black people, and you can't assume that you're going to win the primaries without going to the black community. Black people are not the old black people anymore. We got a new generation of blacks saying that if you don't do nothing for the black community, especially American descendants of slaves, you're not getting our vote. We're not voting for none of you fools if you're not going to do it. So don't you dare think I'm going to vote for you. And I know y'all got your number one issue, but that is not our issue in our community. How about come over here and listen to our issues that's more concerned to us? All the stuff you talking about on TV, military, Medicare for all and all that, that's great. But at the same time, we have our own specific needs and you need to spend more time with us. Now, the subject is Smiths. Tulsi Gabbard did a wonderful job. But not according to this guy. According to this guy, she did horrible. Listen to this.
Some personal, some social media. It is believed the senator had a good night. It's believed Kamala Harris had a good night. It's believed Mayor Buttigieg had.
Now, you guys are on the panel, the show after the show, because there was a show, and you're about to give your commentary. Now, what social media are you looking at Brian Williams. You know you can lie too. Brian Williams, what social media are you looking at? See, this is the thing about it. These people are looking at media that they chose to look at that's more going their way, or they just make up stuff. Pull it out of their behind like they're a butt a magician. Pulling a rabbit out their behind. But listen to Steve. Steve must be on that stuff. He looked a little tired, a little sleepy.
A good night. Your assessment of.
I thought the Mayor Pete had an exceptional night.
What the? He thought Mayor Pete had an exceptional night. You want to know why he think Mayor Pete have an exceptional night? Because he is a Mayor Pete. If he could, he would represent Mayor Pete. This is the guy who brought to the world Sarah freaking Palin. The one who can see Russia from her house. Sarah Palin. This guy, Steve Schmidt, gave us Sarah Palin, the most dorkiest, corkiest woman to ever run for president. Matter of fact, let me not be sexist. The most dorkiest, corkiest person to ever run for political office. More dorky and corky than Bush. George W. Bush, that is. If you want to ask me. He got the nerve to say Mayor Pete had a good night. Where did Mayor Pete had a good night? Tulsi took his legs from under her and... Well, let me keep going and let you talk.
I think he really demonstrated tonight in a performance that was pretty flawless why he has risen into the top tier of candidates. I think that all of the candidates had good moments.
A few polls say he's top tier, and you assume that he's top tier. Y'all don't have so many people go from top tier. Y'all choices, the one y'all pick, go from nothing to top tier, and then all of a sudden they fall. They fall. Beto O'Rourke was up there. Cory Booker was up there. Kamala Harris was up there. The people who you saying having a good night, they rise and they fall. Just like, let me be quiet.
With the exception of one, and I think that they all had a good night. With the exception of one. They all had a good night exception. Kamala Harris had a good night. Kamala Harris got slayed by Tulsi again. Tulsi took out both her legs. Tulsi went doggone Nancy Kerrigan on her. Or Tanya Harding, whatever. One of them. I don't remember the name. Took the baseball bat and beat her legs down. But all of them had a good night except for one. Tulsi punched little kid Pete in the back. Tulsi literally took Pete's Buttigieg lunchbox out of his she took his Care Bear lunchbox, hit him upside the head with the Care Bear lunchbox, knocked him cold. He fell to the ground. She sat on his lifeless body, opened up his lunchbox, ate his lunch, slapped him and woke him up, walked away with the lunchbox and said, "Come get it." But all of them had a good night. Amy Klobuchar wouldn't dare go toward Tulsi's way. Bernie didn't say anything. Tulsi didn't say. So Amy Klobuchar didn't want none of that smoke. Booker didn't want that smoke. Joe Biden didn't want that smoke. But the bottom line, look, she ain't gonna attack Joe Biden. I don't know why she won't go after Joe Biden. I don't understand why she don't bring up the flaws of the Obama administration. I don't understand why. But according to Steve Schmidt or Smucks, whatever, he got the chutzpah to make these statements. The vice president had probably his strongest debate performance. And
the vice president probably had his strongest debate performance. Did you hear Cory Booker said, man, you first you say you were for legalizing weed, now you say you wasn't for legalizing weed. I thought you were smoking some weed when you said that. Man, Steve Schmidt, what planet you on? I know you miss John McCain. And Sarah Palin ain't doing nothing. What is wrong with you, bruh? Oh, but then again, Steve Schmidt ain't got nothing else to do but to be on MSNBC. Steve Schmidt haven't ran the campaign in so long. Maybe he's looking to get a job, so he got to make all of them sound good, because he know he's not going to get on the Sanders campaign. He's not going to get on the Tulsi campaign, and he probably get on a Elizabeth Warren campaign, because again, it's anything but those two. The most anti-establishment, so-called anti-establishment people, they don't want to have nothing to do with them. But let me keep going while Steve Schmidt keep spitting a bunch of Schmidts out of his mouth, because he's full of Schmidts.
When you look at the race and you look at the things that presidential candidates have to do, whether it's one-on-one on the stump, whether it's giving speeches, that for Joe Biden, his weakest venue, his away game is the debate stage. He doesn't have to win the debates. He has to survive the debates. And
he said Joe Biden don't have to win nothing. All he have to do is survive. Bruh, he ain't doing a good job surviving. He is at Tyler Perry's studio, a black man, a ADOS black man at that. He's in Atlanta. Blackville. And he has the support of black people, and I'm gonna do a video on that soon. And the reason Obama picked him is because of his record of dealing with black people. Man, if you don't take that mess, go somewhere with that freaking lie, man. Obama picked you because he knew he couldn't get the Midwest, and he knew he couldn't get a whole bunch of white support. And it was smart for Obama to pick you because people already was saying something. Hillary Clinton was saying stuff that I wasn't going to drop out the waist because, I don't want to go through what you call it went through when Robert Kennedy was running for office. Had not Robert Kennedy got shot, then that's the reason why we got these people for president. So deep in the mind, white racists was wondering who was going to peck off Obama so Joe Biden can be president. So he ended up getting a lot of votes. So it wasn't, that's another video I go over. Let me get back to Steve full of Schmitz.
he did well enough tonight to not just survive, but I think to advance his cause on a number of different fronts. And I think
Joe Biden did well enough after being scalded by Kamala Harris, scalded by making himself look like a doggone fool, talking about he got all the black senators, he got all the black people and the black senators are supporting me, making that asinine statement. Cory Booker checked him. Kamala Harris checked him. He had a good night. This will help him keep his position as the front runner. This will help him advance his cause and gain more black support. Nah, bruh. No. I don't know what's going on with you, man. Are you all right? Have you gotten any sleep, Steve Schmidt? What's up? Your wife ain't giving you none, bruh? It's been about 6 months. You getting frustrated? What's going on, bruh? Look at that face. Something is going wrong. I get it. You're not the shining, polarizing political elite and brain that you used to be. We all fall. But you got to get back up, brother. But this is not the way you get back up, by lying and kissing the butt of your bosses there at MSNBC. Let me keep going.
got better as the debate went on. I think that Tulsi Gabbard was just awful. Spectacular.
Now, here you go. I think Tulsi Gabbard was just awful. What made her awful, Steve Schmidt? I want to hear it from you. What made Tulsi Gabbard awful? Now, by the way, a lot of y'all people said, well, since he's putting out these videos, he's on the Tulsi train. I am not on nobody's train. I'm not supporting anybody right now. We still got time, and I need to put the political pressure on all these politicians to do more for the black community in action and not just talk, in policy and not just ideas. concrete policy. So I'm not supporting nobody. You can be early and give your support and try to get people to follow your lead. That's you. Me? No, I'm applying as much pressure as I can to all these politicians because I got to. But this fool, this man right here, I mean, I stand up for my bald brothers because I'm bald myself, especially my bald bearded brothers. But this one ain't getting no stand up from me. Tulsi Gabbard did horrible. She took out all your centric. You know why he caping for these centric? Because he is the old school Republican. He's not the extreme Republican. He left the Republican Party because they were too extreme. And he joined the Democrats because the Democrats are more like the old school Republican. That's why he feels so comfortable in that spot right now. And he thinks that MSNBC is Fox Light. And they are. They're lightweight Republican media that use lightweight Republican talking points. What we used to call centric Republicans. And we had the centric Democrats. The centric Democrats have actually moved over to the centric Republican category. And the centric Republican category has moved on to the extreme. There's no real middle, bruh. The real middle are actually what they're calling the extreme left. But let me continue to listen to this fool's spit this mess out of his mouth.
Accurately bad. In fact, in a week between Prince Andrew, Jim Jordan, and Devin Nunes, she made a legitimate run for the medal podium.
How did she run for the medal podium? Steve Smith. How did she run for the medal podium? Steve Smith. You just mad because she is not sounding like your centrics up there that are losing, and she's starting to gain their support. Every time she clap at them, she gained their support. You like Hillary Clinton. So when Hillary Clinton started smearing Tulsi Gabbard, and by the way, Tulsi, you need to sue everybody who pull out this smear about you being part of Russia without any evidence. You being a serving senator, you being a major in the army, a medic at that, and you sit on all these foreign relations, they're calling you a Russian bot, a Russian toady, as Barry Weiss would say. You need to start suing everybody who say that because they're trying to smear your name to get your points to go down. That is a political plot to damage your credibility as a candidate, just like the political plot that they believe Trump is doing to damage the character of Joe Biden. In this case, there's proof on that end. But on your end, they don't have no facts. So you need to do something about that. People like this fool, people like Joy Reid, people like the people on The View, you need to clap back at them with a lawsuit. And that will shake them up. Trump would send a lawsuit your way so fast if he find out you calling him all these kind of names, he will sue you. I'm quite sure, and they probably haven't put it in the media, Trump served papers on everybody who called him a Russian puppet. Let's keep going with Steve Fuller Smith.
And just
and they're laughing. Here you are. You got Lying Brian right here, the one who lied about his helicopter airplane experience or whatever, lied to the point that they had to kick him off the show, and then they bring him back. They bring the liar back. Slap on the wrist. Let's bring this lying, so-called credible lying newscaster back to host the news so he can continue to lie to people, but with that calming voice and welcome to Night Lying News. I'm Brian Williams. I'm lying while I'm saying who I am. He's laughing. Claire McCaskill, the hack that tried to mess up delegate convention for Hillary Clinton. This lightweight Democrat who ran as a lightweight Republican Democrat in a Republican state and wonder why they chose a Republican over her behind, and she lost her seat. Now she sits on the platform. Then you got this guy right here. I don't even know. This guy is one of the greatest bootlicks on the face of this planet. He will kiss the behind of white supremacy until it turns brown. Then you got Steve Smith. Then you got Lawrence O'Donnell. Lawrence, they fired your girlfriend. Your girlfriend. A black girl. They fired her. And they sit up here laughing.
Just dishonest at a pretty large level. But I think
now, Steve Smith, don't be saying somebody dishonest without you proving where she dishonest at. Cause she ain't gonna. If I was her, I would tell her you need to go back and roll the tapes like Nina Turner. I already called the man a brutal dictator, but that don't mean I'm not gonna try to figure out how we can keep the people safe in that land by trying to work with that brutal dictator. Me acting like a kid and saying I'm not gonna ever talk to him anymore ain't gonna get the job done for the world community, especially the people in that area. But we're gonna talk about that next. How is she dishonest? If anybody that's dishonest is you, bruh. Is you.
all the candidates have reason to feel good coming out of this tonight.
Then he goes back to say all the candidates have a reason to feel good about this. So you don't consider Tulsi Gabbard a candidate? No, I don't consider her a candidate. She didn't even mention Bernie Sanders. He didn't mention Elizabeth Warren. He did not mention Andrew Yang. All he wanted to say is the centrics did good. My new Republican buddies did great. But the one who was cutting them off and making them look stupid, she did horrible. She ran into a metal post. She's in the category of Prince Andrew, who were doing some nasty things with these young girls and Jeffrey Epstein. Fool. Now don't get it twisted. You know Tulsi Gabbard she's not gonna stand for that. She's not gonna stand for you running your mouth on her. Now Bernie Sanders, he'll let them know, oh, well, sometimes people gonna talk about you, man. When you ain't do nothing about that, they gonna talk about you. They gonna talk about you, man. I can't control what people say. They gonna talk about you. If people talk about you, if you always trying to check somebody talk about you, you're gonna waste your time checking people all day. I ain't got time to be checking that. Tulsi Gabbard is gonna check you. You start smearing on her, she will check your behind. And she did this when it came to Steve Smith, because even though I just got on Chris Matthew, the host of No Balls, he did have enough balls to come back and bring this question after he had Tulsi Gabbard on his panel. He had enough balls to say, now Steve, Mr. Republican, the guy who got the nerves to bring us Sarah No Brains Palin, here I am with a woman with brains, one with guts, galls, and basketballs, who you just talked about like a dog in front of a panel of liars on MSNBC that's laughing about this. You said something about her. Say it in her face. And that's what happened.
I've got Tulsi Gabbard and I got Steve Schmidt up there that took a shot at you a while ago. I want to give him a shot. Steve, would you repeat what you said about Tulsi Gabbard?
Now, there's one thing I could say about Tulsi Gabbard. I don't know, man. It is kind of cold. It is kind of sadistic. She sits there in white. The SNL skit had it perfect that Nico House put up. Sitting there all white. You would think that's a little elitist. And with the smile on her face, take your smoke, bottle that smoke up, and hit you in the head with the bottle of smoke. Watch this.
This woman, I thought your performance was dishonest. I think your positions are extreme. And one question I would have for you is, why did you go to Syria to meet Bashar al-Assad What was the intent of your visit there? And why were you so dishonest with...
All right, before we get into everything, they keep asking the same question. She need to get to the point where I say, look, I'm tired of asking these questions. Why don't you go Google it? Tulsi Gabbard explains why. I'm not going to sit here and keep entertaining you fools asking me the same doggone question. Google it, YouTube it. Tulsi Gabbard explains why she went to Syria. First of all, she was asked to come to Syria by the Syrian people. Second, a bunch of religious organizations helped to fund her to come down there because they wanted to explain to her what was really going on the ground, that the news media is not going to ever tell you the truth because they don't come down here to spend time with us to let y'all know what's really going on. They fabricating, they making stuff up. And that's what the news people like you, Steve, full of Schmidts, and people like Brian Williams, be making up stuff and having spent time down there. They're too lazy to do the investigation. Anderson Cooper used to at least go to the ground in the middle of the battle with his microphone and camera to get the whole story. He don't even do that no more. Who do you know right now that does that? I'm here on the ground of Syria, and I'm talking with the people of Syria about what is really going on here in the Syrian territory, whatever country in city in Syria. I'm here in Aleppo. I'm here in the capital city of Syria, talking to Christian missionaries down there who say that, hey, we're free to worship here in this so-called Islamic State. Never have people on the ground. But these numbnut hacks like to make statements talking about something they don't know what the heaven and hell they're talking about, all because they got it from a news report or somebody who reported somebody who got it from intelligence sources that said something, would never name the intelligence source. And the intelligence source could be the Cookie Monster. It could be Elmo. Elmo got the news for the day from Syria. Elmo talked to intelligence sources, and they say Tulsi Gabbard is a toady.
Regard to the mayor, insisting that he called for plans to invade Mexico, which of course he did not.
Tulsi.
Now, before Tulsi get there. Now, I just showed you a video previously of the mayor did say that. Steve, full of Schmidts, have you took the time out like I did and just Google it or just YouTube it, and it'll pop up the video of Pete Buttigieg, Pete Booty is what they call him, saying what he would do if he was in the situation of Trump. The question at hand was, would you send troops down there to deal with the drug lords when it comes to the Americans being captured by drug lords? Would you send troops? He went through this all-around answer, this Obama-like answer, which means the answer is going to be long to kind of get you thrown off to a weak answer. And the lady turned around and said, bro, I know you told me all this stuff. You went around in a circle. Let's go straight through the middle. Would you send troops? And he answered the question, Steve, where the hell have you been? Have you investigated? Why are you on that news panel and you letting me, a YouTuber, do more investigating than you doing? I don't even understand why they paying these people, man. I need a job. Pay me. YouTube don't pay. I don't have enough contributors. I don't have enough monthly. I must suck. I don't have enough people that's going to give me Patreon money. So, then again, look, it's not about that. Tell the truth, you lying hack. Now, look how Tulsi is looking at him. Can you imagine what she's saying? This mother. Who is this stupid bald-headed mother? Oh, God, this idiot. Oh, God. You ever had that woman that you try to get one over and she just laugh at you and say, you silly, stupid fool. You think you can do me like this? You just don't know. You ever had that woman that she caught you cheating, or she caught you talking to a girl on the phone or texting, and she look at you like, it's okay. It's all right. And deep in the back of her mind, it's okay. It's going to be all right. Because I've been holding John back and Terry back and Hank back just for your behind. But it's on now.
I'm going out with all three of them. Let's let Tulsi cut him off.
Well, if you look at what the mayor said in response to the woman who asked him the question about Mexico, I was merely citing what the mayor responded to. Look, the commander-in-chief and the qualifications necessary to serve in that role are incredibly important. The experience and understanding about foreign policy, about national security, is something that I bring to the table and that I challenged Pete Buttigieg on, showing that he lacks that experience. I've served in Congress for 7 years on the Foreign Affairs Committee, on the Armed Services Committee, on the Homeland Security Committees, meeting with world leaders, working with military commands, getting high-level national security briefings focused on ensuring our nation's security, the safety and security and the freedom of the American people, and working towards peace. Right. That was why I was willing to meet with the brutal dictator of Bashar al-Assad in Syria in the interest of peace and national security, and why as president I'll be willing to meet with any leader from any other country if it means that we are able to ensure no more of my brothers and sisters in uniform are needlessly, unnecessarily sent into harm's way, fighting in these regime change wars that have been so costly and so destructive to my brothers and sisters in uniform and to every single American. This is why I'm calling for this sea change, a shift in our nation's foreign policy.
Now, she's answered your question, Steve Smith. It's the same question she always answered. Google, screenshot it, record it. The answer is there. So I'm going to actually take this clip and make it a separate clip, and I'm going to put up here, I'm entitled it, Tulsi answered once again why she went to Syria. Stop asking the same dumb dang question over and over again in the middle of that. There's more important questions we can be asking, and you know the question I would be asking. Come up with some more questions. Stop with this dumb mess.
Away from the Bush-Clinton legacy of it.
That's my problem I got with Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi, you got to stop this. You show yourself as a bold, non-compromising, don't give a crap about party, but I care about the American people. But you keep protecting people in the party, and you keep mentioning this Bush, Clinton, Trump regime change policy. Tulsi, you can't be scared to mention Obama's name because you might want to, because you don't want to piss off the black base who supported Obama. I get it. You don't want to piss them off, but you're covering, to me, it's a cover up. To me, it's a cover up. Sometimes you got to mention his name. One thing I can say about Bernie, see, you're more bold than Bernie in most areas, but one thing I say about Bernie will say Obama failed. He should have took Obama for America and do what I did with our revolution and start electing people to boot out the people who was not going to go with his agenda. Obama for America should have been an organization used on day one to go out there and elect people like me who believe like me with my policy like me. You got to stop with this Bush Clinton. It was Obama who gave Clinton the order to elevate from 2 wars to 7 wars, to put the drone strike program in place. It was Obama that killed innocent men and innocent women and innocent kids on school buses because they thought terrorists was hiding in the school bus. So you're just going to blow up the whole school bus to get the terrorists and kill all the kids? You're going to blow up the whole school to get the kids? You're going to blow up all the sick people to try to get the terrorists? That was Obama's strategy because he didn't want no boots on the ground. You got to call that out. You can say, look, there's a lot of areas that I really appreciate Obama on. But when it comes to foreign affairs and the military and putting people in harm's way, and I did not agree with the drone strike program. I do not agree with him bombing you and bombing U.S. citizens. I did not. You got to stand up against that. You got to be more like Jesse Ventura.
That is becoming a pet peeve. I don't want to hear that no more. Please stop. Don't want to hear it. You're trying to protect Obama. And I understand why. You're trying to protect Obama because you don't want to piss off the base that loves Obama. And you can use that base to win the election. Look, if you become president, you're good. If you didn't win this election, you'll be good, because I guarantee you, if Bernie win that nomination, which they're going to try to rig it from him, well, he don't. But let's say he do. I guarantee you, if he overlooked the hard work and the dedication of Nina Turner, who knows his vision, who carries his vision in his heart, and can carry it another 4 years if Bernie decides to run, not to run in 2024. Because Kanye talking about running. Nina Turner will carry that vision. But if Bernie don't put Nina Turner in that position, because everybody says she'd be better at White House, but no, Nina Turner be the first black woman with power. If you don't become Bernie's VP, I know for sure you'll either be Secretary of State or Secretary of Defense. I really strongly believe he will make her Secretary of State so she can do what she's talking about up here. Give her a blank check. Stop it. Shut it all down. Get to work, Tulsi. I believe that will happen. But because you want to be president, you have every right, and you'll be better than most people running. You're trying to protect Obama because you don't want to piss off the Obama coalition. You got to call them out sometimes. I'm quite sure she has called them out, but when it comes to regime change war, you cannot not put his name in that conversation. You can't. You got to talk about the president and the Secretary of State at that time. Bush Rumsfeld, whoever was the secretary, Department of Secretary, Bush, Condoleezza Rice. Bush, Condoleezza Rice, Obama, Clinton, Obama, John Kerry. John Kerry didn't do as much as Hillary Clinton did. John Kerry had to kind of fix that mess up that Hillary Clinton had. And now the Trump, Mike Pompeo. Let's not do that no more, please. Please.
Interventionism and more regime change wars, and instead toward a foreign policy that leads with diplomacy and cooperation.
It's not Bush, Clinton, Obama.
It's Bush, Clinton, Trump.
It's Bush, Clinton, Trump. Okay, let me ask you about...
You're covering up. It's not Bush, Clinton, Trump. It's Bush, Clinton. It's Bush, Rumsfeld. It's Bush. It's the Bush. It's Bush. It's Bush Powell, Bush Condoleezza Rice, Obama Clinton, Obama Kerry, and right now it's Trump, Mike Pompeo. You can't skip that. The first time he had balls, he asked you the proper question and you jumped over it.
Bashar Assad, is he a war criminal?
There is the international criminal court system set up in place to determine that fact.
What is your...
That is so key that she said, and this is what everybody in America has to believe. It's just like the innocent till proven guilty. You calling somebody a murderer and you don't have any evidence that they murdered. You don't have any evidence that they were the one that had the foul play. You don't have any evidence that they ordered it, the murder. You don't have any evidence. You don't have any gun. You don't have any weapon. You just assume just because they was in the whole block, they got to be guilty. You assume Assad, because it's his country and people got killed, which is wrong, that he ordered it. When you got all kind of rebels that will start stuff to make it look like something. That's the same old playbook we use whenever we want to do regime change. He murdered all his people. We got to remove them and put in one of our puppet leaders so we can stabilize that country so we can do business and get all the money, because there's a lot of money in that country. That same old cookie cup playbook. She said something important. The World Court. There's an organization that determines whether you are a world criminal. I don't make that determination, and you shouldn't make that determination either because of what you hear somebody in media say or because what some dumb politicians say, because they are saying things without evidence, without proof. And usually when you say something like that, like they do her, usually when you say stuff without evidence and proof, they consider that slander, and it is suitable. You can sue somebody over it. Let me let her keep saying that.
If he is a war criminal, then he should be indicted as such.
If he's a war criminal, let the world court indict him and try him and render him that. Until then, like America, even though it's not America, a person is innocent till proven guilty. And when have you proven him guilty? Because of a Syrian attack, which it didn't look so much of a Syrian, with somebody sniffing the rag to see it smell like Syrian, smell like syrup. Why would she assume that somebody's something and she don't have the evidence for it? Yet she has called him a brutal dictator, but whether she called him a brutal murderer is a different thing.
I believe it's an open question at this point.
I think that we have processes in place to deal with these kinds of things. My interest as a candidate for president and the kind of leadership I'll bring is putting the interests of our men and women in uniform.
In other words, she's saying, look, that is not for me to determine. There's courts to determine that. And once they render, if those courts render him with evidence, overwhelming evidence that he did the murdering of his own people, and they render him that, then we agree with that because the evidence is there. I'm saying that is not up to me to determine that. That is not up to you to determine that. You can assume, you can call him one. That doesn't make it true. It doesn't make it fact. Until it is rendered from a court with evidence, then it becomes fact. Then we can legally say he is this. Until then, we can't say that. Now, is he a brutal dictator? Yeah, he's a brutal dictator. So was Saddam Hussein.
Our troops, the American people in our country first.
I like this fight because it was the first time the debate really, thanks to the moderators, moved to international policy and leadership of this country in terms of commander-in-chiefdom. Let me ask you about the fight in the Democratic Party. I'm looking at all the Democratic establishment figures, people I normally like, John Kerry, Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton. You get down the list. They all supported the war in Iraq. Why were they hawks? Why so many Democrats who the party is not hawkish? Why are so many of their leaders hawks?
Look, I point to two things. One is you have the foreign policy establishment and the military-industrial complex in Washington that carries such a huge amount of influence over both parties.
Is it campaign contributions?
Both political
I'm
parties.
trying to think of why are politicians so hawkish in your party?
And it's not just campaign contribution, Chris, who hosts the No Balls. It's the same people that's giving money to these political leaders to push the wars, to push the military complex into the minds and hearts of people through these narratives like Assad and regime change and war. They are also paying people like you to spit that mess out on national television, and the proof is in your commercials on your particular show. So whenever you see commercials from Northrop Grumman or commercials from Raytheon and Boeing and all that, this is the military complex trying to push propaganda to you through news media, because news media is designed to be trusted. And if you can't trust news media, who are you going to trust?
Campaign contributions, the influence that these contractors have in this pay-to-play culture, this corrupt culture in Washington. But you also just have people who don't understand foreign policy and who lack the experience to make these critical decisions that impact our lives and the safety and security of the American people. This is what is so serious about what's at stake here.
Tonight I heard three people, you and Bernie Sanders were against both Iraq wars, right?
And by the way, Steve Schmidt, do you ask these people why did they meet with Bashar al-Assad? Did you ask Tony Blair? Did you ask Nancy Pelosi? Did you ask the Queen of England? Did you ask John Kerry why did he meet with Bashar al-Assad? Did you ask Sarkozy of France why did he meet Bashar al-Assad? Did you ask Tulsi, was Bashar al-Assad the only people that she met with while she was in Syria? Did you talk to Dennis Kucinich, who is right next to Tulsi Gabbard? Dennis Kucinich, you need to step up and speak for Tulsi Gabbard because you were right there with her. Did you ask Jimmy Carter, why did you meet with that brutal dictator Jimmy Carter, Bashar al-Assad? See what it is, you ask these dumb questions. The whole point of you asking no question is you're trying to crap on her, hoping to get her to look bad. When you don't have the guts to pull up the other people who met with him. The Queen, Dennis Kucinich, who was right there with her, Nancy Pelosi, Jimmy Carter, John Kerry. The list go on and on and on, but you don't ask them. You know why? Because you're a bunch of hacks. Instead of asking her, Steve Schmidt, why don't you ask that long list of people who met with Bashar al-Assad? But you won't do it. Why don't you ask them? Ask all those people why did they meet with her, with this brutal dictator? Why she is the only one being singled out? Because you got a reason to do it. And the reason is to try to make her look bad, to smear her to the point where she has to be forced to drop out this race. I'm sad to tell you, she is not dropping out. Because she's not listening to the polls. As long as she got money coming in, she will run until she can't run no more. Same thing with Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders got so much cash, ain't no way you getting him out of this race.
So this is phenomenal. You got news media, people in news media, people who are hired to be panelists, people who write columnists, commentators like me, like Steve full of Smiths. Steve got his job because he is not the person he used to be. He's not the campaign leader or strategist that he used to be. And they figure, look, since he knows politics, let's put him on his panel. Well, he about knows it just about much as I do. Okay. All right. And I'm just a regular old Joe. Okay. I work a job like everybody else. Come home, kick off my shoes, eat. I got little side businesses that I try to grow. And I'm just a regular old Joe. This guy sits on the panel on NBC. And spit bullcrap. Why? Because he don't like lefties or anybody left-leaning, which is really the moderates. See, all the things that most extreme leftists are running on used to be moderate policies. He is a Republican that's supposed to have switched over, and the only reason he switched over because he don't want to be affiliated with the extreme Republicans, just like he don't want to be affiliated with extreme lefties, so he got to go to his home party. His home party used to be moderate Republicans, but now the moderate Republicans became moderate Democrats. That is your Pete Buttigieg. That is your Kamala Harris. That is your Joe Biden. That's all these guys who said they did wonderful. These other people are horrible. I'm so glad that Chris Matthew, the host of No Balls, got a little ball, at least one ball in by allowing Tulsi Gabbard to be able to deal with Steve full of Smiths. And she did it gracefully with a smile on her face like, bruh, you don't know what you're talking about. You keep asking, just like everybody else, asking me the same doggone question. So here I am. And I would literally say this if I was Tulsi Gabbard. All right, I'm going to say this one more again. Stamp it. Get this video. Put it in your pocket. Put it in your mind because I'm tired of answering your questions from this day forward. If you smear me, I'm suing your butt. So from this day forward, if you want to wonder again in your mind, why am I willing to meet with horrible political leaders, go to that video, because in that video I explained that it is about peace in that region for the people, and it's about safety for the troops that we send that way, and it's safety for the home. I don't give a crap who you are. I'm concerned about world community life safety for the people in those regions. So if they ask me to come, if that community, if the people ask me to come there to get the real truth, I'm going to go whether you like it or not. Kiss my behind, my high yellow behind. And if I need to meet with the dictator to get my message to him, please. Let's work, son. Let's talk something out. And I'll go back and talk to my leaders, because we need to make sure we're taking care of the safety and well-being of the people here. Syria is a country that has open religions. Now, I know some of you people are not religious, but it's very important to have open religion, because people put their life on the line, bringing religion or bringing the gospel or whatever you want to call it into a region that is anti-gospel. People risk their lives for that. They become martyrs for that. And a lot of these people are doing good, building wells, building water and things in regions where they can't get it because of the dictator's suppression. But there's two things I can say about Saddam Hussein, even though they were brutal dictators. And people like Assad, I get his name mixed up, Bashar. They are not extreme religious people. They're not extreme radical Muslims. They're not. Assad is a doctor. Tulsi Gabbard is a medic. Assad allows people to do open religion there. They allow religions to come in to cater toward the needs of the people. Oh, Robbie, you sound like a Assad apologist yourself. I don't give a crap what you call it. It's called the truth. Do your research. It's called the truth. You think I'm a lie for you? You think I'm a lie for the Democratic Party? You think I'm a lie for the Republican Party? I'm not lying for nobody. Heck, I have a hard time trying to not lie for myself. The reason that they want to take this man down is because there's high grade oil and they want to build a pipeline, and they scared that Russia is going to ink a deal, which I think they already did, with Syria to run that pipeline. They want to do business together. No, we want to get rid of Assad. We want to blame him from anything from a frog coming out his behind to a frog coming out his eye. He's wrong for allowing that to happen. So we can get rid of him, put in one of our puppet leaders, regime change, cookie cutting strategy, so we can get somebody that we like to help us get some of that oil. Same old cookie playbook. And Steve Schmidt, caping for the eccentric Democrat/Republican, and mad at Tulsi Gabbard because she came after little Pete. She should have slapped him with an Elmo doll. Elmo don't like Pete. I don't like Pete. Elmo don't like Pete. Pete is a fake. Yeah. Let me stop. I'm wrapping around with the Rob Report. Bro, you need to go sit yourself. This is the guy who brought us Sarah Palin. He's afraid that this Tulsi got more goals and basketballs than Sarah Palin could ever have. She makes Sarah Palin look like a Sara Lee pie. And she ate those guys up for lunch on that stage. And he don't like it. Well, look here, Steve. You're just not going to like it, bro. You're just not going to like it. She is scorched earth now. You come after me, I'm coming after you. That's just it. Stop asking the same doggone question. Check this video. My answer is there. Keep asking me the same questions. I'm going to refer you to the video. I'm tired of y'all answering. I'm not going to keep answering every time to make y'all look good. I'm not answering your question. Go look at the video. And number two, keep putting your mouth on me. I'm going to be like your boy Birdman. Put some respect on my name. Put your respect on my position for running for president. I'm not here to cater to you. I'm here to cater toward the safety of the people. So I meet with whoever I freaking want to meet, and you don't like it, you can go somewhere and kiss my behind.